Hello, my name is Luke, and I'm the producer on a 22-person team creating a video game for my school's senior capstone. My production process first started by introducing and implementing Scrum. Scrum is an agile development framework that allows for an adaptive and effective production cycle. It is especially useful for game development because it is structured to provide feedback quickly and allows for ease of product iteration. A key component of Scrum is sprints, which are usually 2 to 3 week-long work cycles. Once Scrum was implemented into the production cycle, I went about creating a timeline for my team's sprint schedule for our spring semester. This chart is what my professors gave to me and is information I needed to take into account when creating my timeline. The most important pieces of information were the milestone deadlines and playtesting deadlines. The former was hard submission dates, while the latter was just check-ins. Once I was given this chart, I added up the number of days between each milestone and determined how long my team had for each. The results were 34 days for the alpha, 34 days for the beta, and 26 days for the golden master. The immediate conclusion I drew from this information was that I could first create the sprint timeline for the alpha and just copy and paste that into the beta. Finally, I would have to create a separate sprint timeline for the golden master. I usually try and structure sprints to be as close to 2 weeks as possible. Unfortunately, when planning the alpha, I realized that this wouldn't be possible for each sprint as that wouldn't fit the number of days I had in the alpha milestone. My next decision was to try and make the start and end day of each sprint be as meaningful as possible. In order to do this, I made sure the first sprint of each milestone started on a day we had our capstone class, thus being Thursdays, and end on Wednesday so everything that was planned would be completed the day right before our playtesting dates were. I then decided upon having our in-class playtesting days be on a day dedicated solely to reviewing and planning since we would get the most amount of feedback on that day. The day after, the second and last sprint of each milestone would continue until the day before the milestone due date. While this made the second sprint longer than the first, my theory behind this was that more days might be useful as extra time would be needed to finish and submit our work. On the due date of each milestone, I gave my team a day off as a reward for all their hard work during each milestone and give people time to rest and reflect on what's been done and what needs to be done next. Finally, the day after this break was dedicated to planning for the next milestone and then repeat the whole process over for the beta. The Golden Master ended up being slightly different as the extra days in the alpha and beta were cut from the final sprint. My theory behind this was that the final sprint would be for small finishing touches and not much work would be done during it, so not much time was needed for it. And that's how I went about creating the sprint schedule for my team this semester. Thanks for watching.